So on the right, we have Steve Wiseman. He is on mono red. It's kind of a sort of a little bit of a hybrid between the Rabble Red that we've seen and some. There's a bit of like a devotion sub theme in there as well.
I think he's kind of just taken the mono red devotion list that you see kicking around and just swapped in some of the cards that he likes. Like Chandra's Phoenix is in there. I know he just happens to like the card. That's pretty much why it's there.
Mm-hmm. And he's playing against Wyatt, Slaney, who is playing my Jund Rabble deck, actually. So this is basically just Jund Planeswalkers with 4 copies of Goblin Rabble Master in the main deck.
Which makes a lot of sense. Because it's just an extra threat that's lower cost. Because in my opinion, before, that type of deck it was going too high on the curve to get its major threats.
It was, yeah. It took it quite a while to get established.
Because it's like, Garrick will win the game for you, but so will Rabble Master at 3.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Alright, so it looks like Wyatt is going to start it off with a Scryland, and looks like Steve is going to lead out Foundry Street Denizen, so he's looking to be aggressive here. Wyatt is going to play the Sylvan Caryatid. Pretty good turn 2 play versus the mono red deck.
Absolutely.
I think we're going to see Ash Zealot here. So this is an attack for 4. Wyatt is going to block one of the creatures. No risk there. No man open.
Plus, with the Caryatid, he'd be in hexproof. There's not a lot he can do. I don't think he runs any of the pump spells.
He might run Maka, but it's not like 4 copies of it.
Fair enough.
I'm not 100% sure on that either. So it looks like 4 mana has been shocked in by Wyatt.
His board here, it looks like.
So it looks like he's planning to -1/-1 with Golgari Charm. So killing that, Dreadbore that. So Wyatt is playing the removal game here. Ash Zealot comes off the top. Not a bad draw there. But now Sylvan Caryatid's going to be hoping to hold down the fort a little bit here. So he has a choice between Xenagos and Rabble Master. Probably just lead on Xenagos for mana efficiency unless you're planning to Mizzium Mortars here. And it looks like Rabble Master's the play and Mizzium Mortars. Wyatt is playing a pretty standard Jund game of kill everything.
Yeah, it's pretty what you do. You kill everything, slam Xenagos, win the game.
Yeah. So you see Steve looking very intently at that Searing Blood in his hand.
He probably cannot wait to cast that Searing Blood.
No, he's probably pretty excited to do that.
Hopefully he'll put the... No. I know he's got a Burning Tree on the far side of his hand. Or that's
no,
not a
that is
tree.
a Chandra.
That is something else. It looked like a Burning Tree from the side.
Right. So there is a Goblin in play. Read the Bone's not the ideal draw. Yeah, I don't even think you cast that here. Steve trying to be like, hey, you can take a damage from the Llanowar Wastes, and Wyatt's like, no.
At this point, he probably wants some free damage because he's coming up in a rough spot.
Well, he's hurting for mana. There's a Hammer of Purphoros. Now, he's got Purphoros and Chandra and Fanatic in his hand, alongside Soul of Chandalar. He's got some big bodies. He just needs the mana to cast them.
Yeah, but I mean, every turn he's getting so much farther behind with the Xenagos that it's not even going to matter if he untaps and can slam down something large.
No, exactly. This Xenagos is just providing so much advantage right now. You see Wyatt is looking at that Read the Bones, has no interest in casting that. Can't blame him there. Lightning Strike is the draw. Well, I mean, that's a Xenagos answer, I suppose. And there goes the Xenagos.
He's just going into survival mode, basically.
Yeah. But when the mono red deck gets into that kind of mode, it's really hard for it to come back.
Yeah.
So you see Wyatt's going to take a look at the graveyard, try and figure everything out, make sure he knows exactly what's going on here. It looks like this is an attack for 5, down to 6. Finally finds the 4th land, but I think it's too little too late. As here is Purphoros,
which pretty well means he's dead.
Yeah. And there's the icing on the cake, if you ask me, Scavenging Ooze.
Yeah.
He just has to not tap this Sylvan Caryatid here. Where is the Ooze? Here comes the attack for 5. So now Steve can untap, play the Fanatic, Deal a bit of damage. 4, in fact. Attempt an attack.
Yeah.
It just gets chumped by carried and the game ends. So Steve is going to concede the game. Wyatt Slaney is going to go up 1-0. Jund Rabble is going to take a game off of the mono red deck.
And you can really see there how much difference the Rabble Master made. I mean, if he doesn't have the Rabble Master there, and he has, say, Garrick, and he just slams down the Xenagos, Steve just untaps Searing Blood's the token and kills the Xenagos for 2 mana.
Yeah. But
And that puts him in a much more favorable position than having the Xenagos make 2 tokens.
Exactly. But the Rabble Master drew that out
Exactly.
before the Xenagos came down, which, and again, we're not saying that Steve made an incorrect play, because he made the 100% correct play.
That thing has got 2 things you need to kill.
Yeah, that thing has a pack rat-esque effect where you have to kill it immediately or you will be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I don't know. What I'm saying is the addition of the Rabble Master, I think, is a very positive addition to the deck, basically.
Oh, absolutely.
In the sense that it gets you an even earlier threat.
And the Goblin Rabble Master has been cropping up in a lot of decks that aren't Rabble Red lately. Like, you see it in this Jund Rabble deck, which is a take on Jund Planeswalkers. Red-green monsters, or Jund monsters, have taken to cutting Qrtr of Kruphix altogether from their deck and just playing 4 copies of Rabble Master. And the Rug Cord deck that we saw last week at the Star City Open runs the Rabble Masters as well. So
because he can come in and take over a game and kill you in like 3 turns.
Like I say, I watched Jeff Hoogland's deck tech on this deck. He's really the one that popularized Goblin Rabble Master in these Planeswalker shells. And he basically said that he wanted a Tarmogoyf-esque card that he could put in his deck that could just end a game. And it seems deceiving to some people, like on the surface, but Rabble Master fits that bill perfectly.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I remember when that card was first spoiled. Everybody was looking at it like, yeah, you know, I guess it's all right.
I mean, it launched
cool.
at 50 cents.
Yeah, exactly. People were just like, yeah, it's all right. I don't know. Maybe you'll see play in something. At the Pro Tour, the Rabble Red deck debuted with 4 copies of Rabble Master in the deck. Then everybody was like, started taking a second look at this card, saying, okay, hang on. This card is actually doing a lot of work in this deck.
Oh, yeah.
So let's start looking at it in other types of ranges, and then people started realizing, okay, this card's bonkers.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you look at it in the monster shell, if you go turn 1 Elf into turn 2 Rabble Master, that's turn 3 swing for 6.
Exactly.
That's powerful.
That is not a small amount of damage.
And that's if you don't play something else. You could also untap and play a Xenagos on your turn 3.
Exactly, yeah, you could also do that.
If someone's got 9 damage marked on them by turn 4, they're not having a fun time with the rest of that game.
By a mid-range deck, no less.
Yeah.
So it was very, very, very impressive card in a variety of applications.
I mean, even Brad Nelson likes the card so much he put him in Sneak and Show.
Well, it wasn't Sneak and Show exactly. It was Mono Red Sneak Attack that Brad Nelson played.
It was a different deck. Okay.
Yeah. But Brad basically said that there are certain decks in Legacy that if you go turn 1 Soul Land, Exile Simian Spirit Guide, play Goblin Rabble Master, it will literally sit there and just go 1/6/8 dead. Yep. Like, if they don't have removal for it, because a lot of decks board out cards like Abrupt Decay against Mono Red Sneak Attack, because there's really no targets for it. So think about a deck with Abrupt Decay, and then you just go Rabble Master turn 1, and they're like, oh, I can't do anything about that. And like against Miracles, for instance, you stick that early, you're basically saying, you better have a Terminus real fast.
Yep.
And then if they do, well then you get to play your regular game. But if they don't, they lose on the spot. That's the whole idea.
It's just an instant win, or we get to play as if we were really playing Magic, only I mulled to 3.
Exactly.
Or mulled to 5 or whatever. Because you exile a couple cards from your hand just to get the extra red mana.
Yeah, you exile the Simian Spirit Guide to get your red mana, but still. Legacy's a sweet format. So it looks like Steven's going to take a mulligan here. Looks like Wyatt's pretty content with his hand. I see Sylvan Caryatid some lands, Mizium Mortars. There's something else in the back there. It might be Xenagos. There's another Mizium Mortars. That is a Xenagos. Wyatt has a strong hand.
Looks like Steve has a pretty good hand here too, though. Oh no! Don't play the Nykthos. Oh.
Oh, no.
No.
You can't.
No.
So Steve now
Now realizing that, in fact, he
is
could not do that.
he's realizing his mistake. He saw the Nykthos and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna play my Nykthos," and then it's just it's just like, no. You're not casting no double red spells now.
Which is an unfortunate misstep.
Yeah. And there's the second mountain, but unfortunately. Oh, neat little play he can do here, though, is play Burning Tree, then float through the 2 red mana.
Yeah, he can Burning Tree into the Zealot here.
He has a Nykthos there, Nicholas.
Peanut Gallery chimes in just for fun.
So Steve did not actually see that.
Well, it's a unique interaction. I mean, it is. It probably never actually crops up, but he would be sitting here now with 2 2/2s and Nykthos to make a pile.
And he wouldn't have just gotten his board cleared, right?
Tree.
Oh, Burning Tree. Does he have a follow-up?
He does have.
He has a Searing Blood and a Chandra. Oh, he doesn't. He doesn't do it.
He doesn't like Nykthos.
I think Steve might need a little talking to after this game about how Nykthos interacts with Burning Tree Emissary. But that's why we're here. That's why we play, and that's how we learn. Good luck, guys. Good luck. Searing Blood. Oh, it looks like Steve is sending the damage upstairs.
I don't think he realized he could redirect it, and Wyatt just said, "I'll take 3."
Yeah, and now he's attacking the Xenagos. I think. No, yeah, he is just shoving face. He's not paying any respect to the Xenagos at all.
That is never a wise decision.
No.
There was a point in time where I ran 4 of him because he was so good. Because no one paid him any respect.
Xenagos is a very, very good card. I still only own 2, and it really, really irritates me.
There was a point in time where people disrespected the Xenagos so much he went to $6 a card. And that was the same time I started running 4 of them.
Yep.
Because no one had anti-Xenagos tech, and he would just come in and dominate the game.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it went. You see now Overload Mizium Mortar is going to clear the Burning Trees out. Here comes Chandra Pyromaster. The most impressive of the Chandras.
Yes.
Ping the Satyr. Doesn't do anything, but who cares? You gotta say it anyway. Alright, so here is a temple. It looks like we're gonna scry that. Looks like a gold card. I'm not sure what it was. Might have been a Putrefy. If it's removal, you keep it, of course. And I think Scavenging Ooze is going to come into play now. Yeah. This game is looking very bad for Steven here.
Which is unfortunate, because with his opening hand and what he had available there, he could have actually taken this down pretty quickly.
There was a couple of different lines that he could have taken that he just didn't see, which is which, you know, is fine.
Well, it's part of being a younger player.
Yeah, I mean, you got to learn somehow, right? It looks like we're going to see Hero's Downfall on Chandra, so Wyatt basically, again, playing the Jund game of you don't get to have anything nice.
Yeah.
And as a Jund player, I'm very much aware of how to do that. I may play a lot of control decks throughout.
Essentially, it is a control deck.
Oh yeah, okay, blue-based control decks.
Fair enough.
Throughout time and standard, but I'm a green-black X player at heart. That's why I'm starting on Junk in the new format.
Makes sense. More of a blue-green guy myself.
Oh, I have a list for Rug done up as well, just in case, because that deck looks like it'll be really bonkers.
Yeah, the Knuckleblade is such a ridiculous card.
Yeah, that card is kind of insane. So it was a Putrefy that we saw. Phoenix goes away. And Scavenging Ooze is the perfect answer. Yeah, and there it is. Get out of here. Steve does not have the mana to do that. Look at Wyatt. He is just saying, I'm gaining all the life.
I'm gonna eat all your things
Yeah.
and then kill you.
You can't have anything nice, and you can't even mourn over them in the graveyard. They're all gone. And that is a lot of damage.
And I would say this is over here.
I would say you're right. Yeah, and there it is. Wyatt Slaney, Jund Rebel. 2-0 takes down the mono-red deck, piloted by Steve Wiseman. Steve had a good run here, making the top 8 of the tournament, but in the end was not able to get past the Rebel Jund.
Yeah. It's also worth noting this is probably Steve's best finish, which shows he's coming along as a player quite nicely.
I think so, yeah. I think this is probably his highest finish that he's had. So, so congratulations to Steven. Definitely a good performance. We're going to cut it to a quick break now while we see if there is any other matches we can feature for you. If not, we will see you in the top 4. So make sure to stick around, guys.